Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Happy Wednesday. I always feel like it's a Friday when I do these, but it's definitely a Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me for the launch of the Daisy Mae So Much Fun collection. So this is a beautiful stamp set, stamp collection, and dies as well, outline dies, so you haven't got to worry about fussy cutting either. Now this is a very, very special collection from Claire Rowland. So Claire has, as always, she has hand drawn the images. She has done absolutely beautiful job with these, but we do have a little bit of an announcement from Claire first of all. Now Claire is not with me today, but she has sent this message across, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this message in for you so you can read it if you don't have your sound on. So this is from Claire. So Claire has said, "You may have guessed by now that I've taken a step back from designing. Due to a health scare earlier this year, it gave me the time to take stock of my hectic life. The So Much Fun collection is my last ever stamp collection, and then Daisy Mae Design will no longer be. I would like to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for your continued support over the last few years. It has meant a lot to me. Happy crafting, from Claire." So yeah, it's really sad that Claire's no longer going to be designing Daisy Mae stamps. So this is the very last collection from her. Not only that, we happen by coincidence to also have the very last Papercraft Society box from Daisy Mae Designs as well. I'm sure you'll all join me in sharing your well wishes to Claire in the comments, and I'm sure she will be here. If she's not here already, she will be here along in a little while to read through those comments and messages. But Claire obviously has lots of other things going on at home as well, and you can still find her, I believe, on social media too. But that means that I am absolutely honoured to be able to launch this myself. I'm going to be doing a little bit of colouring. Now I dabble, I colour a little bit, probably like many of you. I try. I've picked up a few tips and techniques along the way over the last few years. I'm going to be sharing those for you. So this really is a beginner's colouring show. But more importantly, you can do so much more with these stamps. You don't have to colour them in. You can heat emboss them. You can just do different ink and stamping techniques instead. So shall we first of all come down to, now I've got a different camera angle for you today as well. I will have a look at some of your comments in a moment. We'll go through some of these cards and stamps first, just get people joining in. But I've got a bit of a different camera angle for you today, as you can see. We're a little bit skew-if, but this is because I want to be doing some colouring, and I want to make sure you can really see it close by. If I brought the camera down above me so it was close enough, it would be here while I was talking to you. It'd be in front of my face, so that's no good. Shall we take a look? Let us look at some of these cards first of all. Thank you so much. I can see lots of you are joining us already. Lots of you saying good luck to Claire. I hope she's okay. She's absolutely fine. As she said, you know, she had a bit of a health scare earlier this year, but she is absolutely fine now and wishing to spend more time, of course, with her family and doing her own thing. I totally understand that. Do you know what? Designing these stamps, look at this. This is gorgeous. Isn't it stunning? Designing these stamps takes a long time. She hand draws everything. These samples, I have to say, have been made by the wonderful Glynis. Glynis Bakewell has made these beautiful cards. They're stunning. This is all one big stamp. It's amazing, isn't it? And you've got these cute little penguins as well. So Glynis, thank you to you as well. So thank you to Claire for designing the stamps. Thank you so much to Glynis for taking on the reins of creating the samples. You have done such an amazing job. You'll see lots of these over on the website. Now this is phenomenal, this one. I'm hoping you can all see these nice and clearly. Look at him ice skating. I did ice skating in New York. It was so much fun. It was more fun because my husband couldn't do it and I could. But look at this card. It opens up and you've got so much more to it. Isn't that brilliant? And then Glynis has excelled this time. I think they are absolutely amazing. She has also taken a long time to do all the colouring as well. I'm going to actually go through every one of these cards because I think you'll agree they are beautiful. Karen Reeves says they're beautiful stamps and the cards Glynis have made are gorgeous. They are, aren't they? Look at these. And I don't know if you noticed, they are all in a similar colourway as well. I've got to move my phone. I've got another pile of cards. This is because we have a paper pack as well that we can add to this collection. Now, you may have seen it at the beginning, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. Look at the glitter on that. Isn't that so pretty? Everything here, including the papers, are included in this collection. Now, the paper pack is a freebie if you want it to be. All you need to do is spend £30 on the collection, so £30 on the stamps and dies. Now, I have to tell you, the stamps are available with the outline dies as bundles, and I believe they are, I want to say $15.99. I did look this up, and then I looked up some other things, so I've got my prices muddled up in my head. I want to say $15.99 for the stamp and the die set together. Now, I would easily pay that for one of these stamps alone, because look at the size of them. They're big stamps. He's so cute. But when you're getting the die, the coordinating die along with that as well, that is an absolute bargain. Now, I hope you can see in the background too, we have got this gorgeous kind of stenciling going on. That stencil is included in the collection. I'm nearly there. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to show you this big pile of cards that Glynis has sent in. She's clearly had a lot of fun with these. One more to show you. Look at those, and that glitter, absolutely beautiful. Now, coming back to myself just for a moment, look at this pile that Glynis has made. Hasn't she done a fantastic job? Thank you so much, Glynis. They are beautiful, but now it's time for me to try and show you what to do. Now, so from $5.99 you can pick up these items. There is a paper pad, there is a stencil, there are stamp and die sets. I will go through all of those in just a moment as well. I think maybe get some demos done first, then go through all the product, because you've sat and watched all the samples. We want to see demos, don't we? But when you're spending over £30, you do get the option to take that free paper pack. The paper pack is absolutely stunning, and if you notice the colorways, so we've got these gorgeous deep reds, like the wine colors, and we've got teals and mint greens in there, dark mint greens too. Absolutely beautiful. That is a beautiful paper pack that I would love to come back to time and time again at Christmas. It's a really nice color combination. That is your freebie. That will come at checkout. So if you go along to checkout with over £30 worth of the new Snow Much Fun collection in your basket, it will be a pop-up and it will ask you if you want to add the paper pad to your basket, and that's completely for free. If you're spending over £30 anyway, that's automatically going to then qualify you for free delivery. If you're popping things into your basket and taking it up to over £40, that is going to qualify you for ClearPay if you wish to use it. But as I always say, do be wary of your ClearPay payments. Make sure you know what else is going to be coming out that month alongside your ClearPay monthly payments. Or it's actually fortnightly payments, because you get the option to spread the costs over 4 payments. They are 2 weekly. No interest to pay on that, no credit check required either. It's just simply splitting the price of your order, and your order will come out with your very first payment. I think that's housekeeping out of the way. You can see everything here by clicking the link in the comments or craftstash.co.uk. Let's come back to my desk now. I might just replay that little quote from Claire afterwards too, just to for those people who are joining and wondering where Claire is. £16.99, thank you so much. I don't know where I got £15.99 from. So simply 2 of the stamp sets and 2 of the die sets, as they come in bundles anyway, and you're already over the £30. You can then put the paper pack in. So what I decided I'm going to show you today is a little bit of shading. Now, I've been playing, you've probably seen on my social media, I've been colouring in some of these images, and I absolutely love these. I haven't even made cards from them yet. I've just simply coloured them in. But a lot of people were commenting on the shading and the colouring. And I thought, well, do you know what, actually I don't use any advanced techniques, so I might show you how to get some of this shading and blending today. Now, there's 2 different ways. I know when Claire does hers, I'm just going to bring you down. If you don't like watching cameras move, everybody, just look away for 2 seconds. I'm just going to bring you down a little bit closer. There we go, so you can really see what I'm doing. So with this, I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques. I have got pencils. Now, my pencils are quite an expensive brand, but I want to show you that you don't have to use expensive brands. Now, these are Prismacolors, and like I say, they are a little bit on the more expensive side, but it's worth it. I use colouring pencils all the time. But what I also have as well are alcohol pens. Now, Claire will often use alcohol pens, and she uses Copic. She's literally famous for the way she uses her Copic markers. I like the Spectrum Noir Illustrator pens, and to be honest, I love Chameleon as well. I do use Copic, so there's no rules for using these stamps images. Let's first of all stamp one of these, because I can't do colouring without stamping them. Let's take the first one I'm going to use is, oh, should we use this one? So here's the, let me hold him up to you here. Look at him. There's no one quite like you. Absolutely beautiful, isn't he? I'm just going to go down the comments. Paints and Glitter says, love Daisy Mae stamps. We've got Deborah. Wow, that's amazing. Colouring, just beautiful. Thank you so much. I enjoy it, but I am not an expert colourist. I'm not going to tell you to buy lots of expensive items. I'm going to show you how to mix pen and pencil, and all of these techniques can be done with your less expensive items. So if you've got inexpensive alcohol pens, inexpensive pencils, colouring pencils, honestly, just grab the kids' ones if that's what you've got hanging around at home. You can easily be doing these same techniques with them. So let's stamp this one. It's an absolutely beautiful image. Now, first of all, I do like to use an ink pad that's not really dark. So this one is smoky grey, as you can see here. It's from Versafine. You can get Memento in greys as well, whichever your preferred stamp or ink pad is. You can also use things like distress inks, but because they're water-based, if you're going to go in with anything else that's water-based, then you're going to affect the lines on your image. And also if you're going to want to, I'm just thinking, where am I going with this? Do you ever do that? I had it in my head and then I got distracted by actually looking at my nails and thinking, I didn't do my nails today, but they don't look too bad. Oh dear. You won't get such a sharp image. That's where I was going with your distress inks, with your water-based inks like so. So Versafine for me, if I want a detailed image, is my go-to. So you can see how large compared to my ink pad this stamp is. A beautiful big size. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. So let's just stamp this. I have to remember to bring it up to the camera. I've tried to adjust the focus, so hopefully it's nice and clear for you there. Let me know if that view is bothering anybody. Look at that image. Let me turn him round. I want to say him. Could be a her, of course. Beautiful. Now, snowmen are particularly easy and quick to colour, really, because a lot of it's white. Now, you can absolutely leave this white. I'm going to do a little tutorial a bit later on how to colour in the snow elements. If I just show you this one again, so that you still get the shading, okay, and the same on this one. So you get a hint of colour and a hint of the, like I say, the shading, the shape, without having to do too much work. We'll do a little bit of that later. So let's, oh, do you know what? He's got a fluffy hat as well. I could also show you how I did the fluffy hat on this one. If you want, let me know. If you have been colouring a little while and you've got questions, maybe something's not quite been working out for you, let me know. Maybe I'll be able to answer it. I can't guarantee I can answer it, but I can try. Now, you've got two options. You can either go completely with your pencils, and in this case, if I was going with pencils, what I would do at this stage is I would do a light coating of my base colour. That's going to be my mid-range colour. Okay, I'm going to do this scarf in red, so I would go with, I'd probably go with this red. It's kind of more of an orange. That is an orange. That's because I picked up the wrong one. There we go. This red. I'd go with this as my base colour. I would take a darker red as my shadows, and then I would take either something like a pink, you can see there, for my highlights, or I'd always add in the white and black. Okay, so that would be my colours for one piece. I wouldn't go with any more than that if it's going to be a one colour thing. But what you can also do to speed up your colouring. Now, a lot of people have said to me, do you have to press really hard with the pencils? No, you absolutely don't. The best way to build up colour and to get that smooth look is to go lightly over the grain. I'll do that in a little while. Let's do this one first. So starting with an alcohol pen. So I'm going to take kind of a mid-range colour here. Let's do this part of his scarf, and let's just, I have to go quiet because I'm being precise here. Just colour in on here his scarf. Now this is just laying down my base colour. Okay, so this is, like I say, they're the Spectrum Noir pens, and all this is doing is filling in all the white grain of the paper. Oh, by the way, the paper I'm going on to, I didn't mention that before. This is brand new. I think it's online now. If it's not, it soon will be. It's the Creative Craft Products textured white card. I'm not sure if it is actually online yet. I'll just get that in there. So it's coming soon, I believe. This has been tested by our lovely Sheena. She's made sure it's absolutely perfect for stamping, heat embossing and colouring. Okay, now when you're colouring, you want the paper to have a little bit of a grain, a little bit of a grit texture to it, so it takes that colour off of the pencil, away from the lead. Almost if you imagine colouring on sandpaper, for example. You want to be able to easily take the colour away from the pencil. If something's too smooth, the colour just doesn't come off onto it. It's almost like going over something that's oily. It's not going to come off. So you want textured paper, and that's exactly what this is. So now I've laid down my base colour, and you can see I've got no white areas there. So that's my base colour coloured in. So now to start adding shading. Now we're going to decide where do we want our shading. And I'm going to use my darker colour. This is my base colour if I need it for blending. So it's as similar to the alcohol pen colour as possible. I'm going to say from here, that scarf is going to have a little bit of shadow to it. It's going to have like a curve to it, okay? So just in that area, can you see that? Instantly, that has given that some shape, simply by using a slightly darker colour. And make sure you taper off. If you're adding shading to fabrics, make sure you taper them off. Imagine the way that would fall. Now, if you want to really deepen that shadow, I've got a black here. I'm only going to use a tiny bit, and I'm going ever so lightly with this. Just a tiny, tiny bit of black. And I'm going to come back over with my dark red. And really that's just going to blend it out a little bit more. Okay. Now the edges of this, I'm going to take my base colour. So this is the mid-range colour, and I'm going to come to the ends where I finished with that dark. And I'm just going to blend that in. And it's a little bit like when you're doing your alcohol ink blend, sorry, not alcohol, blending inks, so like your distress inks, when you're doing two colours together, an ombre background, and you go slightly lighter with one and then fade it into the next one. That's really what we're going to be doing. So I'm just blending out the darker colour into that mid colour. Okay, so we've already there got the shadow there, and you can work on that. You can keep going over that and over that, and you can go over the whole thing with your mid-range if you want to really blend it in, like so. That's what your mid-range, your base colour pencil is for. You'll use this the most. So I've got that curve, that kind of sway in here, but if you've got a shadow, you're going to also have a highlight. All right, so my highlight is going to be my white. Now you can use your lighter colour, but I'm just going to go straight in with white, so more so you can see it, so it's not too subtle, because if I do it too subtle, you're not going to see the difference. Now your highlight, if you imagine the curve of this fabric, the fabric's going to lift up and then down into that shadow. So where it comes up, it's going to be here. That line is going to be the highlight. So again, I'm going to do an area of highlight, just the whitest area, and I'm going to do that quite dark with my white, okay? And then I'm going to lightly, just lightly, blend that out a little bit further. And then a little bit further, getting lighter and lighter until I'm barely using any white towards the edge of that scarf. Then come back in with my mid-range again. And just adjust the edges of that. Go over those edges lightly. And we're just blending that in. Okay. Now can you see the shape that we've already got to this scarf? I'm going to go over that white a bit more. Okay, so let me just turn this round. That's just using, so your alcohol pen on the bottom and your pencil on the top. Now you'll go over that a few times with your different colours and really, really blend it out. That's using the alcohol pen because the alcohol pen does really fill in the detail. Okay, let's stamp another image just so you can see another image. I'm going to come back to me just so while I'm getting these ready, because It's quite close, isn't it? It's quite close. And I also want to give you these details again while I'm taking this off the stamping block. So the details are that we have got brand new Daisy Mae collection launching today. It's so much fun. Now, Daisy Mae is very much known, I say Daisy Mae, Claire Rowlands, who's designed these, very much known for her colouring. So I'm kind of trying to help you out with some colouring tips and techniques today. Not an expert myself, completely self-taught. That's my little confession, but I've thoroughly enjoyed working with these images. They are absolutely beautiful. So you've just seen one there. This one is called Snow One Like You. And as I said, I will be going through these a little bit more. Let's just see. Let's take this fella. He is super cute, and we'll stamp him. Now, I'm going to stamp him onto a different colour cardstock as well. Now, the cardstock I'm going onto is a bit like a craft cardstock. This is going to help with building up your colour. It's actually going to give you a deeper colour right from the off because you're not working on a bright white background. So let's peel him off. Lots of comments, thank you so much. I will look at those again in a moment. Let's bring you back to my desk here so you can see what I'm doing. And let's see, where's that craft cardstock? Here we go. So how are you all anyway? Have you had a wonderful day so far? It feels to me like a Friday, so I have to remember to come into work tomorrow. It's only Wednesday. There we go. Now this little fella, he is on his sledge or sled. I mean sledge. I think there's an American and a UK version of that. Again, I'm going to be using my off black, so my grey. Grey or a light brown is absolutely perfect. You can of course stamp in black, but I really like not to see too darker lines when I've finished. Otherwise, sometimes it can look a bit too kind of cartoony, but really it's your preference. If you like to have the nice solid black outlines, you stamp in black. Just make sure you go for a nice detail stamp. Right, there we look at that. Stamps so perfectly, doesn't it? Absolutely beautiful. Let me see. Paints and glitter. I recommend you make swatches with different colours so you can see how the pencils layer with the marker. Yes, you'd be surprised how some look together. Absolutely, that is a brilliant tip. Do you know what? If any of you have colouring tips, please do pop them in the comments because like I say, I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what I've learned so far and showing you these beautiful stamp designs. But if you do have any tips or techniques you've picked up or heard from anywhere, please do let us all know. I'm just going to pop over to, I always want to call it Bookface, to Facebook. It's going to take a little while to catch up here. Yeah, the comments take ages to catch up. Debbie Main says there's such cute stamps. They really are, aren't they? That will slowly trickle through and I'll be able to see the recent stamps. So, as I said with each of these, this one I'm gradually going to show you all the stamp designs. Snow Body Warms My Heart. So this is Snow Body Warms My Heart Like You. Gorgeous. Obviously, I've just taken the stamp out of there. But each of these, not all of them, most of the sets come with the outline die as well. So you just don't have to even think about doing that colouring in. Do you know what? I think it's time we actually, before I go on to the next techniques and tips, I think it's time we went through these. I just need to do some sorting out very quickly because I've there it is. I want to show you these in a good order. Look at these. Okay. Absolutely. I'm going to, right, mind your faces, everybody. I'm just going to pull you back ever so slightly. There we go. Just so that it's not quite so close. This one, Snow Much Fun. This is, as the collection says, Snow Much Fun. The snowball and his foot. I was actually having a conversation with my mum the other day about when she went skiing and she hurt herself. She fell over and hurt herself a little bit. She wasn't too bad. She was back up the slopes a few days later. But that just reminds me that might have to go on her Christmas card this year. Carla Wilkes says the best tip she can give is to try anything. Sometimes the results will amaze you. Absolutely. So many people saying that they can't colour like that. But how do you know if you've not tried? If you have tried, just practice. And you do have the outline stamps with that one as well. Then I think this is my favourite because it's got the sentiment in there as well. Really beautiful. So that one is this one. You can see the difference once it's coloured in. It really brings them to life. But again, you do have the outline die with it as well. I'm not even sure if that's the correct way up. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? Because, of course, it's flipped over. So that one is Let It Snow, because he's got Let It on his little board there. Then this one here is Snowmen Melt Your Heart. Gorgeous. Isn't that lovely? I think I feel so sorry for him. Although that's clearly hot chocolate and marshmallows and a candy cane in his cup. Could look like something a little bit warmer, couldn't it? But yeah, there is him all coloured in. I do feel sorry for him, but on the other hand, I've seen people outside the pub looking like that sometimes. Put it on yourself, mate. Snowmen Fall from Heaven Unassembled. Oh, that's so sweet. Of course, with the snowflakes, absolutely. And you have those outline dies as well. Maureen York, wow, love the Let It Snow. Yeah, I absolutely do. Oh, sorry, Anne-Marie, I saw something about your order. Hopefully someone from CraftStash team can jump on that and see what's going on for you. If not, do email customer service at craftstash.co.uk or wherever, yeah, .co.uk, and we'll hopefully help you out as soon as possible with that. So this one I really thoroughly enjoyed. In fact, there's a quick time-lapse video of this on my social media because I thoroughly enjoyed colouring him in. This is Snow Buddies. You've got the snowman with the candle there, and what I found really good fun is to actually make the most of having that candle in front of his face. You can have the reflection of the glow of the candle on the white of his face there. Then of course his nose would be casting a shadow too, so pick out those details and really play with your colouring. But you've also got the mouse in his hat here with the scarf, with the little cup as well, keeping warm. Absolutely adorable. And you've got all these little stitched snowflakes. They're the ones behind there. Karen says, thank you so much for this, Lou. I'm not very good at colouring and it's a huge help. Honestly, practice, try and practice and try. By all means, like I say, if anyone's got any comments, I am trying my best to look at the comments whilst I'm doing this. Sharon Miles, love these stamps and can't wait to get some and start colouring. Absolutely, they're adorable. They're going to make the perfect Christmas cards. It may be that earlier in the year you weren't thinking about Christmas when we did Christmas in July. Probably now you are starting to come round to the idea. Debbie, I promised myself I wasn't buying anything else, but I really want these. I don't blame you. Absolutely, Debbie. Now, well, let's just look through these then. I've got a little competition announcement. I'm so glad we are friends. These are super duper ridiculously cute, aren't they? So cute. Now this one is a stamp set on its own, as is this one, because this is your backgrounds. Let's get that the right way around for you. So it's your tree, your signpost, little bird there as well. This one here, I love the marshmallows. No, I'm so hungry. It's lunchtime for me. And you've got the house on the hill there as well, really gorgeous to build up your scenes for all your other images. Then you've got your stencils. Now look, this is ridiculous. Why am I showing you a stencil set in a packet and you can't see it? I need to get it out for you, so let's just take this out so you can really see what we've got in here. There we go, that's better. So we've got all of our swirls, snowflakes and our stars as well. They're going to build up the perfect background. I will be making a card at the end of this hour, although we're already halfway through, using this stencil too. Now, last of all, because I did show you this one, didn't I? Because we coloured that one, so I haven't just shown you that one. But you can see there's lots here. You can see everything at craftstash.co.uk or craftstash.us. And then we've got the papers. These are beautiful. As I've already alluded to these a little bit. Beautiful, beautiful colourways. I've taken some out of here. But they are so stunning. Look at these. Perfect for masculine cards. My late father used to always wear shirts like this. It just reminds me of a shirt that he used to wear all the time. So Father's Day, that would be perfect for as well. Of course, Christmas too. There we go. Look at that. How gorgeous is that colour? In fact, that colour has inspired this card here, the scarf on there. I dug through my pencils and found the closest match I could. Then you've got your ditzy print, so your tiny little holly leaves and berries in there. So perfect if you want a background that's not too striking and not going to take away from the focal point of the card. More stripes there, diagonal stripes. I won't hold that too long because obviously it does make the camera go a bit funny, but you can see how gorgeous they are. Then this colour is so, I love it. This is my favourite colour of all time. And there's one that I've missed because I've taken it out, and it's this one. With the mittens, that beautiful, beautiful, deep colour. So gorgeous. They've got a kind of velvety feel about them as well. They're perfectly smooth. You can die cut them, of course. You can do all those techniques that you love to do with your papers. They are all 190 GSM. There we go. Oh, by the way, there's 24 in the pack. I'm going to bring you closer. Sorry for the movement, everybody. Whee. This was the best way I could do this hour, so you could actually see everything. So I apologise for the movement. I hope that's okay. Now, just colour. Let's look at building up colour with a pencil. Now, I talked about the snow element of the snowman. How if you've got a white card. I didn't do this bit on him, did I? I'll try and come back and do that for you at the end, towards the end, because the fluff is actually really easy to do. If you've got white card, it's very easy to just leave that blank, but it does help bring the figure to life if you can do a little bit of shading on there. But how do you shade white? I mean, you don't want to go with black, it's too black. So what I tend to do with snow, I'm going to need my white, is something like a light blue, and then let me just see, have I got a grey in here, or do I need to dig into? I've got a very, very basic set of pencils here. I have kind of a silver, which is as close to grey, so I'm trying to make do with some basic colours for you. So if that's what you've got at home, you can also do this, rather than me going ahead with lots and lots of expensive and millions of tones of colours for you. Thank you, Debbie. She's loving the colouring tips today. Elaine Jasper, really like the ditzy little images on the papers. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Belinda Blakely has said Daisy Mae is her favourite designer. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Anne has said, love Daisy Mae, just listening at the moment. We'll catch up with the video later. Lovely, thank you so much for listening even. Okay, right, so I'm going to do the legs here in white, because they're going to, in my mind, it's a little bit like when you see the cartoon characters, they only have a jumper on, they have nothing on their bottom half, so they've got white legs. I think that's right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going onto the craft, so I do need to colour this all in white. If you're colouring a large area and you want to have a solid colour without any of the grain of the paper showing through, you'd immediately think that you need to press down hard and get as much of that colour off as possible, but that's absolutely not what you need to be doing. What you do need to be doing is going ever so lightly all over the image. So keeping your strokes quite close together and just letting the paper take away the colour off the lead of the pencil. Okay, let's go over all of this first of all. Now, kind of make a mental note of which direction you're colouring in as well, and try to keep it similar as you go across the image if you can, if you think of it. So just going to come up here, and I do, when I first sharpen my pencil, I make sure I go into the detail areas, and then the larger areas I leave more for when I've got kind of a bit more of a blunt pencil and it's a little bit softer. There we go. So I've gone over the entire image with one thin layer. I want to show you actually what happens when you do press down hard. Let me do it on his foot here. If I press down hard, you can see I've got lots of colour coming away. If I just push that to the side, you see I've got lots of colour coming away that's not being used. And you're actually going to have this shiny, waxy surface to your colour. Okay. Now, if I want to go over that with another colour, that's just not, it's not going to pick up. It's really hard to blend anything into that, because you've burnished that all in and made it so smooth and shiny. As I said earlier, it's smooth and shiny. You can't then get any colour to grip onto it. So blending becomes almost impossible. So you don't want to be going in hard. Although you can see you've got a much whiter image, this is the much better way. So I've kind of gone along this bit horizontally. So I'm just going to turn this, and I'm going to come back over again, a nice light layer, and I'm going to go what would be vertically, although I've turned my paper so it's horizontally again. And what this is going to do is going to capture more of the pencil colour, but it's going to capture it onto areas of the paper that didn't get it last time. Now, all paper has a slight grit to it, which is what we said we wanted earlier, wasn't it? We wanted to make sure that you've got a grit to the paper so that it does take the pencil colour off the pencil, like your very, very, very fine sandpaper almost. So again, I'm not pressing down hard. I'm just going in a different direction to make sure any fibres of the paper that didn't capture colour last time and would still be showing as brown are now picking up the colour this way. I'm hoping you can all see this okay. There, so just going horizontally or vertically, whichever way you want to look at it, and very, very lightly. Again, not pushing down hard at all. You can probably hear I'm not pushing down hard. Just use the point of the pencil to get back into there. Okay, so that's made that a lot darker already, and you can keep doing that, so you can keep going over in different directions. I like to go in circles as well, but as long as you're only going lightly until you've got a lovely solid colour. Now that's not too bad for my base at the moment. So this is what you would do if you were not putting your alcohol pen down first. As we saw with the image that I was colouring earlier, with here I did alcohol pen. That was basically doing this. That was adding my base layer down. But now I want to add some shading. This is actually quite a nice image for me to add shading to. If you imagine the light is coming from above, which it would be, sun's in the sky, your shading, your shadows are going to be, and again I'm going very lightly with this blue colour, along the bottom here, along the bottom of the leg. And that this time I'm kind of working in small circles, but very lightly, and again allowing the paper to just take the colour. There we go, and under the foot there. So we've got shadow there, but we're also going to have a little bit of shadow just along the base of the jumper there. If you imagine the jumper's a thick woolly jumper, it's going to be causing a little bit of shadow. And under here from the scarf there, you're going to have a little bit here too, just because he's curved, and also around his bottom you'll have a little bit too because he's curved, so the main light is going to be around the middle. So I've just gone round there with a bit of blue, and I'm just going to do that ever so lightly again, ever so lightly, but coming a little bit further in, and that's just to help that blend of blue, not too far, very, very lightly to start helping that to blend in. There we go. Okay, now if you feel you need more shadows, you can go in with your grey. At the moment I don't. I'm going to come back in with my white, and I'm going to go back over it again. So it's really about layering up, and as you go over with your white, or your lighter colour, depending on what you're doing, you're going to find that you're actually blending everything. It's blurring it all, and it looks much, much smoother. But as soon as you press down hard, you're not going to be able to put anything else over the top of that very easily at all. There we go. So we've now got, hopefully you can see that we're starting to get a bit of shape. Now I want a little bit more shape to that. So I'm going to come in with, I'm hoping, do you know what? I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with, oh, this one will do. So this is an indigo blue. So it's a really dark blue, and that is just going to work for the very, very base, just down here where you really wouldn't have any light at all. And then the bottom of the foot here too, maybe just in this crease, you'd have a little, should we do a little bit there? And same again, come back in with your white and go over. Right, so who would like to win a selection of these goodies while I'm just blending this out? I'm sure you all would. All you need to do is subscribe to us on YouTube, and if you go to our community tab on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, you will find there that we have got a post inviting you to enter to win, and we're going to announce the winner or contact the winner next Wednesday. So that's for you all to enter. That's open to everybody, and we will be sending out 2 stamp sets with the coordinating dies, the stencil and the paper pack as well. So that's how I've got shading around the white area there. How's that? Shall we build a card? Shall we actually finish with a card for this? I'm just going to pull you away ever so slightly because I've got to do some die cutting, and that just might be, there we go, just might be a little bit too much. I hope you've picked up some colouring tips so far today. Let's take this little fella that I've coloured previously. Let's cut him out with the coordinating dies. Let me just see. Lisa, thank you so much. Oh, your birthday, Carlo. Is that next Wednesday, your birthday? I hope it is. Congratulations. Congratulations for meeting another birthday. Happy birthday to you for next Wednesday, if that's the case. If not, give me a shout. I just wished you happy birthday. Let's take the coordinating die, because each of these has a die with it. Thank you, Carla. That's very kind of you. Wish your shading looked like that. Oh, looked that good. Sorry. Sorry, Sue Vincent. Honestly, Sue, just practice. You can get there. Oh, I will lastly, in a moment, I will do the fluffy hat. Don't let me forget. What I do need to show you as well is the amazing Papercraft Society box from Claire Rowlands, because the Papercraft Society box is available to subscribe to right now, but only until the 19th of October. After then, you won't be able to receive this particular box, and we are super low in numbers. We are already getting close to a sellout with this one. It's not even gone on sale individually yet. So if you've been thinking about subscribing to Papercraft Society, and I will show you the box in just a little while, please do consider it very quickly. And if you love Claire's items, you love her stamps and colouring, definitely this is one to go for, this box. Like I say, I'll show you in a moment. So I'm going to put that in there with the outline die. And what I like about this is there's a slight outline, but it's not huge. It's not a massive great outline where you think, oh, that's just too big. It's actually a nice, quite a delicate outline. There we go. Oh, try not to I'm trying to stretch and use my muscles at the same time. So let's just lift that up. There we go. Look at that. How much fun. You see you've got that slight outline. Now, of course, you can extend your colouring if you wish to meet the outline, if that's what you want to do. But that is really good fun. But I'm going to make a card. Now, I've already prepared some pieces here. But, oh, do you know what? I had another piece of paper and it's gone walkabout. Now, where did that go? I know what I did. I thought it was scrap, so I put it in my scraps box, but it wasn't scrap at all. It was actually cut to fit that. Let's take the stencil. There we go. Now I'm going to stencil with iced spruce. I love this colour, and again, it's so similar to the scarf that I've used in this. I'm just going to do some of these snowflakes through here. It's a beautiful, beautiful colour. So I'm going to do a few snowflakes, twisting this. I've already cut all my layers down to size. This is going to be it's a 7x7 card base. This particular square here is 5x5 inches. And then I've just cut my layers from that gorgeous pattern paper. There you go, one more. So I'm just going through my stencil. You can see beautiful designs here with the snowflakes. Then I'm going to do some blending from here upwards. Now, as I said with the pencils, where we're blending and lightening the pressure as we go up, that's what I'm doing here. So it blends into those snowflakes, just like so. Okay, I'm not worried about the bottom bit because we're going to cover that all up with this bit that I nearly threw out earlier. So I'm just going to tear this bit to make the snow, and that will fit on there like so. Bringing in my Sizzix glue. So this is just a background for the snowman. I don't need to worry too much about this one. Oops, looks like I left the lid off my glue at some point. It's got all gunky around the lid. It's good. Sizzix glue is brilliant at saving itself. Whoops, Daisy. There we go. Look, he's going to sit on there. So you can just see the snowflakes in the background. They are subtle, but that's all I wanted. Beautiful, happy with that. Now, because these papers are 190 GSM, if I wanted to add foam tape to these, I could, but personally, I'd rather back them with a more solid cardstock first. So what I'm going to do is layer up all of these and then just put foam tape behind the one last layer, lifting them all up together. So that's going to go onto that gorgeous teal colour. That is the most beautiful teal, isn't it? Trying to, Kay Rogers, you're very welcome for the tips. Thank you for saying so. Debbie, you'd be happy to just win one of your cards. That colouring is amazing. Thank you. Well, I tell you what, I've not done this in a long time. Shall I give away one of the cards? I say one of them. Shall I give away this card? It's the one I'm making. Shall I give this away? I'll sign it, I promise. Or unless you don't want me to sign it, and then I can leave it blank and you can give it away and tell someone else you've made it, by all means. Drop me a comment if obviously you want to go over to the CraftStash YouTube channel and make sure after this live you go and enter to win the collection. But if you'd like to win this card, oh, it's exciting. I haven't done a card giveaway for such a long time. Just comment. Shall we say, give him a name. Give him a name. You've got about 5 minutes, I think. Let's see. Yeah, not very long, but give him a name and I'll pick a name to send it out to in a little while. And I'll send that myself. That's fine. That can come from here. Sorry, I got a little bit distracted there. A bit excited at the thought of giving a card away. So just layering these up. As you can see, I've layered them all up together. So now this is a really solid piece of cardstock. So layering this up on foam tape here. And you can put a lot more foam tape behind this if you want to. I don't tend to go too mad with the foam tape as long as you've got a nice sturdy base. You don't need to because it will kind of hold its own. Oops, just lost a little bit of that. There we go. Oh, we've got some great names coming in. Oh, Bertie, Chris. There we go. Pop that on there. He's going to sit on there, but I'm going to put him up on foam as well. Raise him up. And I love this CraftStash foam tape. What I really like about it is the tape and the pads and the sheets, they all come in the same thickness, so you can mix and match them. So if you've got a large area like this and you want to have a bit of the sheet or really thick foam tape behind there, you can do that. And then you can mix it up with a few different pads as well, and so on and so forth. But the width or the thickness is going to be the same across all of them. There we go. What else have we got coming through? Call her Sean. Yeah, her could be. Jolly Roger, Sammy Snowman. It has to be Frosty. Let's just come back to YouTube and let that catch up for a moment. Stanley, Scotty, Sydney, Harry. He looks like a cheeky Charlie. I know. How many of you have actually given me names that are like your grandson or your nephew or your son or something like that? I bet a few of you have. So just placing that in the middle. I like that I've got elements overlapping ever so slightly. Sorry, I've put that a bit out of shot there. Isn't he fun? He's gorgeous, isn't he? So pretty. Now, I have already stamped a Snowmen Melt Your Heart. But I haven't mounted it onto anything yet. But I do want to colour this in. Now I'm going to take the bright red from the earmuffs there and colour those in similar. I did actually use pencils for that, so let's use a pencil for this. And if I want that really solid colour. Now this is actually a good example showing you this. You can see there, hopefully you can see there, I've just coloured one layer and you can really see a lot of the white grain of the paper coming through. So then I'm just going to turn this colour the opposite way again, not pressing any harder, exactly the same way, trying to capture all that white grain. You can do it with an alcohol pen, this is a small area. There's something, for me, I find something very therapeutic about colouring. Where are we going to put that? There we go. We just need to mount that onto a little piece of paper. So let's take this blue again, gorgeous blue, and pop this on. So these are so much fun. They are Rena, aren't they? Heidi Ho says, Frosty the Snowman, of course. Frosty. It's got me singing. Anyone else singing? Yeah, that's that song. I can't sing it. I'm not allowed. I don't really know what the rules are about singing, but is it something like less than 3 seconds of a song you're allowed to sing publicly? I don't know, something like that. Right, I'm doing this by hand. You can do it with a trimmer. Obviously, you can be a lot neater than me. Lid on my glue. I will just run you through very quickly through the contents of the Papercraft Society box as well in just a moment. Oh, and I didn't show you the fur hat. Oh, there's so much I've promised to do. So much. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to fill an hour because I didn't know much about colouring. Right, let's pop these on here. Let's just pop that on there. Snowman, melt your heart. There we go. So that's going to come out to one of you. I'll pick you in just a moment. Very, very quickly. Let's take... let's see, here we go. Here's the fluffy head. I'm going to bring you down a little bit closer. Mind yourselves. Sorry about this, toing and froing today. So the fluff on the head. Now, obviously it's already white, but you need a white for blending because that's your base colour already done for you. I would say go with a grey or a black. So I'm going to go with a black because I've not got a grey to hand. Now you can do this with alcohol pens or you can do it with pencil. Do you know what, should we do it with alcohol pen just for a change? So let's take a grey, let's see, brown grey, let's see what colour that is. That's quite dark, that will be fine. So a fine tip, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to do tiny little dots and dashes, particularly around the edge. Now again, this is going to be curved. I think this pen is actually running out. That's not very good, is it? So let's go with another one. Is this one? Oh, that's a big chisel nib. This is similar. Yeah, dots and dashes, particularly around the edge. Like so, because you want your shading. Okay, you want to give it that curve again. And you've got a few lines actually. Claire's already added a few lines within the image, so you can kind of follow those. And don't forget around the holly, you're going to have more shading. So that's your base layer. Then, oh, I forgot to add a few in the middle. You do need a few in the middle, just little dots, like so. Then I'm going to come in with my pencil and I'm going to do dots and dashes over those. Okay. Just go straight over the top with your white pencil. So you're layering up. So now you're going to have darker areas. You're going to have slightly lighter where you've got your pencil going over the top, because of course the pencil is not going to cover that up completely. I'm going to take a black pencil and I'm going to do very fine lines as well. So it's really just about mixing lots of different shades of greys and white, and making sure that each time you go on, you're going in a different direction. You're doing really random little dashes. Try to stick to dashes rather than dots if you can. And then again, go over, back over the white. And this can be done with any kind of fluff or fur. It can be a dog's fur. If you've got, you might have the Daisy Mae images that are the dogs, or the grooming parlour ones. I can't think what they were called now. There was fun name for them. But hopefully you can see that's starting to build up, and you just go over it again and again and again until you're happy with your fluff. Okay, last thing I'm going to do before I announce the winner of my card, bring you up. There we go. Papercraft Society box. This is absolutely beautiful. There's so much in here. Now, Papercraft Society boxes always have around about £60 worth of product in. You're not going to be paying that at all. Now, it depends where, how you're subscribing. You can subscribe for 3, 6 or 12 months. Sometimes we have them available later on, afterwards, once the subscriptions have all gone through, but this one is really looking like that's not going to be an option for you this month. We are looking at needing to subscribe to these to be able to get it. We have got a small handful left, unfortunately, and the subscriptions have not closed yet. You've got until the 19th of October. So you can see we've got some beautiful stamps here. We've got polar bears on there, They're all polar bears, actually really good fun. You've got the snowballs as well. You've got this lovely big quote. Then you've got dies, which coordinate just here. So they all cut out your stamped images. You've got some beautiful papers here as well. They're gorgeous. There is a full reveal. I won't go through everything. There's a full reveal video on the CraftStash YouTube channel. So go and take a look at that. Within here, there's also a lot of other goodies. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you to check out the reveal on YouTube. If you're thinking about subscribing, so this will be delivered in the UK free to your door every month. You can cancel or pause your subscription at any time. There is then an exclusive Facebook group that you can join only for subscribers, where there is more exclusive content. Think like the designers will join the group and they will set challenges, and you can see everyone else's makes. You've got the project booklet in there, around about 16 projects using everything that's in the kit. Honestly, so worth going for and subscribing to. A really good fun box and a surprise every month for you. Different designer every month, of course. This is going to be the last one that Claire has designed, so grab that. If you did miss the very beginning of this hour, we did announce that this is Claire's last Papercraft Society box, but also Daisy Mae Designs stamp collection. If you are a collector of them, you definitely need to be getting this one, because she will no longer be designing. She's decided to take some time off for herself, and I don't blame her at all. She's spent quite a few years doing some beautiful hand-drawn images for us to use in our crafting. We've absolutely loved it, but it's time for her to take time for herself now. And so she's stepping back from designing. So this is the last Daisy Mae collection that you can get your hands on. There are past collections, some of them still available on CraftStash, some have been restocked. For example, so, I think Loose Ladies maybe was so popular, but definitely grab those now, because we won't be restocking after this, unfortunately. But thank you so much for the past few years, Claire. You've been wonderful. Okay, yes, you can get the Papercraft Society box to the US as well. I believe it's not free delivery to the US, but you can still get it. Go and check out www. I believe it's on here, papercraftsociety.co.uk, and you can find out all the details. It's also on the CraftStash website. So if you go to here, obviously if you're in the US, you're going to put .us at the end of that, and go to Craft Brands. There's a Papercraft Society brand page that you can go to find out all the details. Okay, now go over to YouTube if you want to enter to win some of the products. But who's going to win my card? Now, I did see a comment. I did, and I thought, oh, I like that. Now I just need to scroll back. I don't know how far. I saw it. Who was it? Oh, we've got all sorts. We've got Simba. We've got Snuggles. Wonderful. Here we go. Sarah Talbot. I didn't look at your name. I don't know who it was, but I saw Sydney the snowman. Now, Sydney is my dad's name, and it was my granddad's name and my great-granddad's name. So, Sarah Talbot, if you'd like to just message me or CraftStash with your address, I'll pop this in the post, and let me know if you want me to sign it or leave it blank for you to send out. So, thank you all for entering that. That's actually made my day that somebody wants a card that I've made. You're all wonderful. Thank you again to Claire for designing these stamps. Make sure you go over to YouTube, everybody. Enter in the community tab on the CraftStash page to win, and join me on Friday. So I've got a Paper Discovery Dance On collection with Katie Skilton. We're launching that collection on Friday, 12:30. I'd love to see you there. Take care, everybody, and have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.